I'm Kim Summers Egelsee.
I'm Shajen Aziz.
And we are the co-founders of Publishing Joy,
where your story and your voice matters.
We take you from start to finish, from your vision to creation, and help you make your book a bestseller and an inspiration to the masses.
Join us at Publishing Joy. We look forward to serving you and those you serve. We love helping people help people. That's why we're here.
I'm here with Gaia Orion, one of our amazing authors. Gaia, you talk in your chapter about the power of creativity and self-expression. How does that bring you joy?
I think people think that artists are creative, but I think everyone is creative. We all, before we were 7, dance, build fort out of nothing, draw, paint, and just like be happy. It's like, look what I did. And yeah, for me, creativity is a life force. It's when you see someone who is creative, they're alive, they're just happy to imagine, to create. This like life is a piece of art. And so yeah, I talk in my chapter about creativity is a life force. It's something also that created the universe, created us, and we just continuing to be bringing joy to the world with when we have that life force that would like was there at the beginning of the universe to create what is there, and then that was there when we were a kid, and then like how do we continue that instead of just stopping and dulling and losing, you know, like what we discover, what is our gift.
Hi, I'm here with Peter, one of our incredible authors of Discover the Gift of Joy. You know, Peter, having you join us has been such an honor and such a gift. And I wanted to ask you a couple questions about what do you think the gift is, and what does it mean to you as it pertains to joy?
Well, in discovering the gift of joy, I was reminded that joy is our birthright, and we find joy where we look for it, and we experience joy where we're a match for it. So my contribution is a reminder of that birthright, but also a guide and tour on how to remember our way back to it. Joy is not something we have to achieve. It's something we already are, and we just peel away all the thoughts and beliefs and mind filters that block us from that remembrance.
I'm here with Terry O'Neill, one of the wonderful authors of our book. She writes about challenges that she overcame and still was able to find joy. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Very life unexpectedly left me with the loss of 2 very dear loved ones. And something like that you are just never prepared for. So that took me out in life, and it was a process, a long process to find myself again, who I am in this world, to step back into my life, and certainly to find joy. One of the ways that I experienced joy again was through nature, through being outside. My love of the great outdoors settles me and makes me happy and peaceful. So that was one of the ways. Yeah.
I'm so inspired to be here with Angela Alexander. She is a world-renowned speaker, and she went through something very difficult and was able to find joy again. Can you talk about that?
Yes. While I was in Japan on military duty, my 2 8-year-old sons passed instantly in a horrific car crash. And I really resonated with the title of this book because Discover the Gift of Joy. Although my sons passed instantly, God allowed both of them to write and leave behind these incredible goodbye letters. And Reggie had cut out a tombstone, and on the tombstone he wrote the words, "Dead Men Joy." And this is an 8-year-old little boy using the word men, but men is a pronoun for all of us. And it just resonated with me that joy was just, you know, so a lot of times we don't think of that when it comes to passing away, but he let me know that where he's at right now is joyful.
I'm with Kathy Uthas, one of our incredible authors of Discover the Gift of Joy. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here.
It's such a pleasure to have you. You know, aside from already being a best-selling author, which is incredible, tell me about your participation in Discover the Gift of Joy and what that's like for you.
Well, I'm not going to lie. It was a struggle for me to find this because, as you know, I'm a death doula, and people often say, how do you find joy in death? And the truth is that there's a lot of joy that can be found when someone's at the end of their life. It mainly comes down to when somebody is completely in presence with each other. It can be found when we totally connect with each other. I mean, mostly people are so busy in their lives, we don't take the time to do that. But when someone's at the end of life, they truly connect. And they can find where their life had meaning, because many times people at the end of life are talking about the things that made them feel really alive. So there's joy found in that. And also it comes to a point where we all kind of realize that we are loved and that we are connected.
I'm here with Cindy Davis, another amazing author from Discover the Gift of Joy. Welcome, Cindy.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. You're welcome. Thanks for being here today. You know, we've put a lot of work into this project, into this movement, and into the work. But one of the things that was incredible about watching you blossom during this work is that you started with one very specific idea of what to share. And in that process of diving deep within yourself, you actually discovered something else. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that process and maybe what you found?
Yes. So my original story that I wanted to talk about was talking about my journey with my mom. And as you and I were working together, what came out of that is I really struggled to find that joy, find that peace, find that message that I really wanted to share. And as we were talking, all of a sudden started talking about sensuality and my favorite things in the world and how much joy that comes from being in that sensual place. And everything just fell into alignment. I got my chapter written in about 2 weeks after that, and I had been spending many months before that trying to get it all put together. So it was a pretty powerful process and pretty powerful moment to have that shift there.
I'm here with Annalisa Berg. Annalisa, I loved your chapter in Discover the Gift of Joy. And will you talk about how joy really became a profoundly spiritual experience for you and what that meant to you?
Oh, thank you so much. What a great question. How joy became a spiritual experience for me. Well, I had shut down my own creativity when I found my first boyfriend and got married, and then, as many women do, stopped singing and painting and all these things that I used to do and love. And I just discovered after, putting myself last in that regard, but putting my family ahead of me, and that was a joy as well. But after they grew up, my kids, it was like, well, where am I? And I discovered that my soul had been kind of shriveled. So I went back for a spiritual master's, right? Spiritual psychology master's. And it was there I discovered, this is part of a blossoming of who I am, my voice. And I started singing and painting and understanding that we are so much more than just this world, but it's a spiritual psychology, right? So we expand, and it's such a joy to have that frequency of the creative arts and expression. And that's how it became for me. And then it just went from there that I spent 30 days in silence. I was guided to do that. And it was not my first choice to do such a thing, but through that I ended up channeling these Hebrew letter mandalas that include all of our different traditions, because I believe we're all one. And that is the joy to remember that in these days especially, when we're so divided, that we each need to find our own voice, our own creativity, our own, not only just painting, but what is our gift, and then share it with the world and come together to create a new world. And that's really the joy.
I'm here with Liz Rosado McGrath. Your chapter is delightful. One of the things I really want to ask you, because I know you're an expert at this, is if someone is in burnout at work, they're trying to have joy in work, but they just feel so burned out they don't even know how to find joy again, what would you suggest for them?
It's a really great question, and it doesn't matter what you're doing in life. Everyone experiences burnout, or in this particular chapter, for me, it was like a period of dark night of the soul for me. And I think that when you become so exhausted and you literally hit rock bottom, burnout, or whatever you want to call it, for me, I just realized I cannot live like this the rest of my life. Like I was meant for more. We talk about joy being our birthright, etc. So what did I need to do? And it just really set me off on a path of discovery. And I found as I was learning about joy, it was all sort of mental, and I was reading a lot and I would talk about it, but it wasn't enough. It was a temporary like stepping stone. And I realized that I needed to think more deeply about embodying joy, like it's a physiology. And I wanted it to be a reservoir I could always come back to over and over again, because that's what we are. But you have to know that, practice that, and then it just lights your soul on fire.
I'm here with Laurel Jansen Byrne, and her chapter has a really delightful story that I think everyone can relate to in some way, where she really got joy from an experience. Could you describe that?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kim. I was kind of overwhelmed by the chaos in the world, the division in the world, and I was running errands and happened to meet this charming 92-year-old woman who had lost her wallet in the grocery store parking lot. And I returned it to her, and we just had this wonderful interaction. She hugged me and thanked me, and she's a neighbor. She lives about a mile away from me. And it was that simple reminder that joy is everywhere. You don't have to look far. You can look within yourself. You can look to a friend. And in your community, there's just these simple moments. And it just leveled the playing field for me. It was just a beautiful moment and a really great reminder.
I'm here with Lara Pollica, already a best-selling author. She's been working with Publishing Joy for a little bit now, and having her join this project has been so much fun, and for many reasons. We've known each other since we were really young, and we used to go play in the fields of Vermont together, go to music festivals, and have an incredible time. However, having her join us has been phenomenal because she can write. And I told her she could write, and she didn't believe me. And so she writes amazing things. Welcome, Lara.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really quite a pleasure.
It's awesome to have you. So you really wrote something pretty phenomenal in your chapter. If there's a couple nuggets that you feel are really going to make a difference in people right now, what would those be?
I think to listen to your intuition and to really follow your dreams, and don't do what everyone expects of you just because that's what's expected, but follow your intuition and that little voice that's in your head.
What brings you joy?
Being here now with all these wonderful authors and, being published, that brings me joy.
Awesome. Presence, your voice, it matters. It's why we're here.